Hey everybody, this is Dr. Dennis Buckley with the Health Advantage Physical Medicine with October's webinar, and it's titled Live Your Best Life Now. We're very excited about this presentation because we're all about helping people live their best life. People come in crisis, resolve that, then we give them an opportunity to prevent the crisis from coming back and also to maximize and optimize their potential. So, uh, we provide value for anyone and everyone wherever you are in your health care journey. And one thing that's been very clear is that in today's world, um, we need to be much more proactive when it comes to health because of the fact that we can't count on the government, we can't count on the insurance companies, we can't even count on our doctors to keep us healthy. We need to take action ourselves. And there's a story I want to share about Max. Now, Max is not a patient of mine, but Max was a patient of Dr. Eric Plasker, who is the author of The 100-Year Lifestyle. And this was really the start of how the 100-Year Lifestyle came to be. Max came to Dr. Plasker in his mid 90s, crippled, arthritic, desperate because he could not function. He was alone, didn't have any family, didn't have a whole lot of money, lived in like a kind of a boarding house. But he came into Dr. Plasker's office and he said, help me. And Dr. Baxter really said, I really don't know how much we can help you, but he started working on Max, and they really grew to love Max because Max was cute, he was kind, he was humble, he'd never complained, but you could see he was suffering. And through chiropractic care over weeks, Max became much more alive. He could walk faster, he could walk farther. He was always smiling. He never lost his great attitude, and he was just a wonderful patient. They loved Max. They wanted to take care of him. And then what happens is, after a couple of years, one time Max didn't show up for his appointment, and then he missed the next one, and then the next one. So you know what you're thinking? Maybe something happened to Max. So they knew where he lived, and they went down there, and they said no, Max had left. Now he's still alive, but he had left, and so they thought, well, maybe he went and lived with someone else, and they wished him the best, and they were just glad they could have been part of his life. About 2 years later, Max shows up at the front desk, and he was leaning on the desk, and the front desk person, Max, got so excited. Dr. Plasker heard, Max is here, Max is here. So he finished up his work, he went and run a fun, Max, Max, where have you been? How have you been? And Max looked at Dr. Plasker and grabbed his hand and said, thank you, thank you, thank you, and died on the desk. Found out that Max could not live in the home anymore, so he had to go live with some relatives that kindly took him in. And but he wasn't able to get chiropractic care anymore, and of course, over time, his quality of his life deteriorated. And the one thing he wanted to do was tell Dr. Plasker, thank you for what you did for me, for giving me my life back, improving the quality of my life, and helping me live. Dr. Plasker started thinking about this and saying, Max didn't know he was going to live to be 95, 96 years of age. Max didn't know. Maybe he could have done something. Maybe we could have done something. Maybe everybody could have done something to improve the quality and quantity of this man's life. He had quantity, but he didn't have quality. But when he got the chiropractic care, it gave him a glimpse of hope. So the Max story was the inspiration for the 100-Year Lifestyle. And one thing that's very clear about the 100-Year Lifestyle is we've got to wake up to the facts that people are living longer. And it's substantiated by research. People are living longer now than ever before, whether they want to or not. And if that's true, and the population is aging, it changes everything. It changes things financially, emotionally, family wise, health wise. Now, basically, one of the things they always say is plan for retirement. But when is the retirement age is usually 65. But if you're going to live to be 105, that's another 40 years. How are you going to prepare for that? Well, you need to prepare for it on many different planes. And one of the things that we hope to put forth in this presentation is how to prepare for that, how to optimize and maximize your health. You got to face the facts. Here's the facts. By the year 2000, there were 606 million people who were age 60 or older. That's 10% of the world's population. 50 years later, that number could be 1.9 billion, or one-fifth of the world's population. So the fastest growing segment of the groups are those who are 80 and over, whose numbers could reach 377 million people. Okay, and you also need to face the fact that this aging thing is happening rapidly. Centenarians, or people over the age of 100, increased by 21% in just 5 years from 1996 to 2001. This is in Canada, and those numbers continue to rise. These findings are similar in nearly every industrialized nation of the world, so things are happening fast. Face the facts also that the people that are in their hundreds right now were known as the Great Generation. Well, they didn't plan on living this long. They were blindsided by longevity, and now they have become the nursing home generation. So what we have here is we have a longevity crisis. One thing that's really happening now is that we are all getting advanced notice of this longevity crisis. The blueprints for your health, immunity, function, and longevity have been with you since your conception and are guided by your innate intelligence. Remember, health comes from within. We're getting advance notice, and the real issue is, do you want quantity of life, quality of life, or both? In this picture here, one of the things that is happening is that adults are taking care of not only their kids, but now so of their parents. The lady on the left is suffering from Alzheimer's, 7 years old, doesn't really know where she's at. On the contrary, the man on the right is 100 years old, and he is barefoot water skiing. So how do we get this quantity and quality and maintain it throughout our whole lives? Your advance notice is this. The nursing care generation now, that great generation, they were blindsided by longevity. They didn't plan, prepare, or want to live this long, and many have not truly lived their last decades. So, if that's the truth, that's the trend, you're going to be around for a lot longer than you ever imagined. What will you do with this information? So here's a little thing you can do. It's called calculating your empire, or your minimum potential years remaining. You take the age of your oldest grandparent, how long they lived, put your current age in there, subtract, and that is your minimum potential years remaining. Like for me, I had a grandmother that was 97. I am 60 now, and so my minimum potential years remaining would be 37. So, when you look at that number, how do you feel about that? Many people think, oh, that's a long time. I don't want to live that long. Well, here's the problem. You may not have a choice. You may be around for a while. If that number is really low because of death in your family at an early age from whatever reason, you may have an opportunity to, one, rewrite your family history, but also be aware that your grandparents died early, whatever the reason. What are you going to do about that? Are you going to succumb also? So, by calculating your family's empire, you can put some plans in place that will help to optimize everyone's health. Because remember, your minimum is not your maximum. So, one of the things that a lot of people talk about is, well, it's in the genetics. Well, that is part of it, but it's not as much as you think. From the MacArthur Foundation, they found that only 30% of aging is based on genetic heritage, while 70% is attributed to lifestyle choices. In the book, The China Study, it went down to 5% genetics and 95% lifestyle. The Cooper Clinic found 25% genetics and 75% lifestyle. The fact of the matter is, it's mostly lifestyle. So,
Stop blaming your genes. This is Kyle Maynard. Kyle Maynard has no hands. He's a wrestler. He basically did not let his genes interfere with his ability to participate. He was full of fight. Basically, stop blaming your genes. The thing you really need to do is adjust your lifestyle, because everyone deserves to be healthy and express their full potential from the time they were born to their last breath of life. If you look at the 100-year lifestyle trivia, today a centenarian has survived 22 recessions and the Great Depression, 7 recessions over the past 30 years, and each recession has been followed by an economic expansion. So basically, this is what happens. And if you look at the chart there, you can see there's all the red recessions, depressions, and recessions. Also, the Great Depression of 1929. But also, things have come back. So guess what? History repeats itself. Centenarians have lived through lots of events, and so will you. So here's the question. If you knew you'd live to be 100 years of age, what would you change in your life right now? What would get your immediate attention? Would it be the vision for your life, the rest of your life? Would it be about your relationships and establishing or improving or repairing? How about the environment? You know, we came into this earth, are we going to leave it a better place? How about the environment you just live in? How about your work? How about your health? How about your finances? How about the time you have left? And also, the legacy you want to leave when your time on this earth is complete. So what would you change immediately? Also, what motivates you? Does crisis motivate you, or quality of life motivate you? So that would be like the if you need to lose weight versus in adjusting your lifestyle. If crisis has been your primary motivator, go visit a few nursing homes and see what happens when people did not take care of themselves. And when you know what motivates you, make the changes you know you need to make, and make those changes in your new 100-year lifestyle. There are 3 life-changing principles. 1, change is easy. Thinking about change is hard. In fact, change is immediately. The results come later. Change comes one choice at a time, so you should think progress, not perfection. And you also should approach change with your ideal 100-year lifestyle in mind. Knowing you're going to be living a long time, make those changes. So, the writing's on the wall. Well, I hope it is for you. So, you need today to start fresh with decades of experience behind you, but decades of experiences to be experienced coming up based upon how you approach these times. So, one of the things that people say, well, you know, it's hard. I don't feel like changing. I don't feel like exercising. Well, guess what? Get your feelings out of the way. Okay? One of the things is there's things that you know you need to do. If you judge and promote yourself and propel yourself by feelings alone, you'll get nothing done. Some things you just have to do. So, how do you find the energy to change? Well, first of all, it's not your age that's exhausting. It's how you choose to use your energy. And this will determine how young you feel. Perfect example is most people don't feel like exercising, but they do it anyway, and guess what? Afterwards, they feel great. And then down the road, they look at the changes in their body, and they like the experience. They didn't feel like doing it, but they did it because they knew it was important. So one of the things you can do is look at your personal energy inventory. Are you participating in activities that are sucking the energy out of you, or are they adding to your energy? There's one thing you need to change for everybody is stop killing yourself. One of the top leading causes of death in men and women is heart disease. And if you look at the list, cancer, stroke, chronic respiratory disease, Alzheimer's, diabetes, unintentional injuries, even flu and pneumonia, kidney disease, septicemia, or infection, all these types of things most of the time are preventable. In fact, a notable ER doctor who changed his practice into a wellness practice noticed that most of the people that came into the ER with problems had problems resulting from poor lifestyle. Therefore,
they were preventable. So one of the things that you can do is make sure that you are participating in activities that are not going to detract from your health but build health. Sadly, medicine and medical errors have become one of the number one causes of death in the United States. And basically, it's as much as little as 100,000 to 250,000 people each year die because of medical errors. And so you can't um, you can't afford to get sick. Look at all these articles that come out in the paper and the public media more and more now talking about the problems with drugs that were supposed to be safe and helping us, and the side effects that were uh, very, very bad for people. In fact, if you go into go onto your search engine and type in the word drug interactions or drug reactions, you'll find a lot of scary information. And basically, one of the things is that the use of drugs, although at one time thought to be the savior, and they did help a lot of things, have not lived up to the fulfillment. In fact, they've created more problems. And you can see by these articles about, non-steroidal and anti-inflammatory drugs, which are thought to be really safe, more dangerous than thought. Cough syrup left out in the cold. Cholesterol drugs do battle with each other. Heartburn drugs have severe downside. U.S. spending on medical research increases. Results are disappointing. So it's not working. In fact, basically more and more daily we see information about the problems with medications. Drug reactions responsible for 700,000 ER visits regularly and death. Not them. All anti-arthritis drugs have dangers, and intestinal surgery can cause eye problems a year later. There's all sorts of information coming out that is not good. And also, the FDA, Federal Drug Administration, is having problems fulfilling its mission to protect us. So, if they can't protect us, what are you going to do? Well, some of the information coming out right now is that the United States ranks in the 50th percentile life expectancy. Basically, we as a country have one of the lowest life expectancies compared to other industrialized countries. And one of the things is that they're understanding now is that our lifestyle is basically not conducive for good health. I just returned from a trip to Europe, and one thing my wife and I noticed as we looked at the people, we were in Barcelona, Spain, we were in Rome, Italy, we were in Venice. We looked around and noticed that we did not see overweight people. We saw people walking, we saw people on the move. The only people that looked overweight were the U.S. tourists. When we came back to L.A., got in the airport, walked to the airport, you see a lot of big people. So basically, our lifestyle has affected our life expectancy, and also then that affects quality of life, our cost of life, and also our ability to function and think clearly as a nation. So what do you do? Well, in the 100-year lifestyle, there is a hierarchy of care that must be in place to help keep you well. One is self-care. Well, self-care is what the things that you do that will prevent you from having problems and prevent unnecessary complications. There's health care. That could be the things that you do for yourself that would help prevent problems from happening. Crisis care, if there's a problem that comes up, you're an injury or something acute comes up. And an example would be like the dentistry now. Most people go and get their teeth checked once a year for gum disease, get their teeth checked, get x-rays.
to make sure there's no cavities. They also go every 3 or 4 months to 6 months, and they have hygiene where they have a deep cleaning. And then at home, they're brushing their teeth, they're using water picks, they're using flossing, they're gargling, they're doing these things, and they're preventing problems from happening with their teeth. Okay? And then what happens is if there is a cavity, if there is a chipped tooth, if there is a infection, they go to the dentist for crisis care. Same thing can be applied to your own health, creating your own health care hierarchy. So, the old model was if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That led to a lot of crisis care because people didn't know there were problems de- developing until it showed up at the end as a problem. So, getting blood tests, getting examinations, getting screenings, all could I have early identification, and that's healthcare. But we need to redefine broke. So if you're out of balance, you're broke, and you can't afford to be out of balance, and you can't afford to get sick. Look at these costs. 70% of those driven into debt by medical costs had insurance at the time. We're talking about people filing bankruptcy. 49% of the people say that they refuse medical treatment on serious conditions because of the cost. People can't afford to get sick. So, what can you do? Self care. One, one of the most powerful drugs you'll ever put in your body is food. So, in the subject of nutrition, there's a concept of empty calories and quality calories. Empty calories include cake, beer, donuts, french fries, soft drinks, bagel, white flour, sugary cereal, all the little addictive things that we know are good for us, but they do kind of taste good, but they're empty calories. What we need to have is quality calories, such as fruits, vegetables, avocados, brown rice, sweet potatoes, lean meats, fish, nuts, and seeds. This should be the vast, vast, vast majority of our diet because it's the most powerful thing you can put in your body. Then there's also fitness. We want you to get your S in shape, ESS. That includes endurance, strength, and structure. Endurance includes something like walking, running, biking, hiking, basketball, tennis, soccer, anything where you're moving and you do it on a regular basis. Then there's also strength, basically resistance training. Having a strong core, having a strong spine, having strong muscles basically allows you to become independent and keep you mobile as you age. You have the structure and spine of your essential innervation or your natural IT system. And your nervous system's purpose is to control and coordinate the function of every cell, tissue, and organ of your body and help you adapt to your environment. So some of the facts are is that you need to protect this nervous system because the fact is that the natural healing forces within each of us is the greatest force in getting well. And health is our natural state. All disease results from disruption of the flow of intelligence through this nervous system. And intelligence is present in all matter and continually gives it to all its properties and actions, thus maintaining it in existence. The Hippocrates, 2,500 years ago, D.D. Palmer, 122 years ago, Deepak Chopra, in the current. So this information, the facts have been around for thousands of years about what needs to be done. You need to protect your innate system, your nervous system. And your essential innervation is your natural IT system. Without it, basically, you cannot be healthy. Interference to it will minimize your potential. With it, you get optimization, and with optimization, you get optimization. You can do it. You get maximum health, and you can optimize it throughout your entire lifetime. Some of the spinal injury facts: the 8 to 10 millimeters of pressure, or the weight of a dime, can reduce nerve transmission. And also, nerve compression can exist without pain. Stretching a nerve can reduce the strength of its impulse by 70%, and after 2 weeks of mobilization, scar tissue can appear on the bone. So if you have problems such as misaligned posture, poor balance, you're overweight, this is putting a lot of pressure on your nervous system, which can cause problems. And basically, it can show up how you aging. So where are you? Or do you even know? Basically, this on the left is a neck of someone who got no care throughout their lifetime. They have a reverse curve of their neck, and they got multiple levels of degeneration. Uh, some people that went to the doctor only when they were in pain still resulted in abnormal curve and decay in one area. But the person throughout the lifestyle that maintained good posture, saw their chiropractor on a regular basis, made sure everything was balanced, basically had nearly a normal curve and no decay present. So your health has nothing to do with your age, it has to do with your lifestyle. So those pictures that you saw where there was degenerations, those are caused by a condition called subluxation, misalignment of the spine causing excess wear and tear on joints and discs affecting nerves. So how do these spinal subluxations happen? Well, the birth process can cause the first subluxation because it's very traumatic, especially if they use forceps. When a baby is learning to walk, there's a lot of falls hitting their head. Childhood play, growth spurts, body weight changes, up or down, physical, chemical, and mental stress, which we experience through a whole lifetime, intense emotional experiences as we go through life, auto accidents, work injuries, the environment, toxicity, food poisoning, sports injuries, intensive training, hormonal changes, poor posture, excess sitting, trips, falls, sickness, these all can cause subluxations of the spine, resulting in excess wear and tear of your body. And it affects your essential innervation, your natural IT system. So you want to optimize it. Just as you want to optimize your searches with search engine optimization, you can have innate optimization through your lifestyle. So, on the lifestyle care continuum, you have choices. Most people go to the doctor on the far left side when there's a crisis, and that makes perfect sense because of the fact that you're in crisis and you want to take care of it. As you get better, you start moving to the right, and as you get to the middle, you get to a thing called the critical transition. Do you continue care to optimize your health, or do you basically stop care and wait for the next crisis to come? Most people that go through the critical transition keep moving as far as they can to the right, and they get into a thing called what's called lifestyle care, which optimizes their health and their peak performance. So, what is your choice? Which type of care is right for you? Is crisis care? Crisis care is based on need. This is from the trauma, challenges, falls, all those things we listed, causing spinal nerve pressure, which may be contributed to your health problems. Or are you going to choose lifestyle care, which is based on want, which leads to healthy growth and development, good posture, maximize energy, optimize nervous system function. Your innate is expressed and your genetic potential is fulfilled. Improve performance in athletics, increase flexibility. You minimize effects of stress, strengthen the immune system, and live an active life. What do you want? Crisis or do you want lifestyle? I think most people would choose lifestyle. And this is what top performers in entertainment, in sports, in business are all finding out now. Leading companies and professional sports teams have chiropractors on site to help maximize potential. Fitness leaders like Gold's Gym, Les Mills of ACE, and NSM and the National Association of Sports Medicine endorse the 100-year lifestyle model for everybody. It's being taught in municipalities, schools, and organizations around the globe, and millions of individuals just like you are changing their lives and priorities. These people that you see up on the top of the slide there, these are top performers in their area of expertise, and one of their secret ingredients is chiropractic care and making sure that they're subluxation free. So, when it comes to healthcare, what you really need to do is you need to build a healthcare team. Building a healthcare team, basically you have somebody for crisis, someone for transition, and someone for optimization. Could be all the same people, or it could be a team of people. Make lifestyle care of your life a priority. Have a crisis care team in case of emergencies, but then basically make sure you have someone that's going to keep you well too, and these different teams will have some overlap, and that's okay. So what you want to do is you want to balance out your ideal 100-year lifestyle. You want to create your ideal environment to which you live and function. Make lifelong learning part of your journey, because guess what? You're going to have to develop and become a different person for different stages in your life. Think about it. What kind of person were you when you graduated from high school? What type of person were you when you graduated from college? What type of person did you become when you started working? How about when you got married? What kind of person did you become? How about when you had kids? How about when those kids graduated and moved away from the house? What did you do to go into retirement? Or did you retire? Did you change jobs? Every area and season of life is going to require that you evolve and become a different person. So basically, lifelong learning and understanding these changes are essential. Also, create yourself a support system. Spend quality time living. Finance your 100-year lifestyle. Understanding that you're going to probably be living a long time. Make sure that you're saving for the future so that you have the finances to support your lifestyle. And also leave a legacy about what you want to be remembered for. So how do you leave your why do you want to live your legacy now? Well, why wait until you're gone? Do it now. Don't just leave one, live one, so you can see the effects. So, what causes are important to you in your community, in your profession, in the world? So, get involved in your community, be a difference maker, and lead yourself. Take actions, leave your legacy. At www.healthadvantage.net, we have a lot of information, articles, and webinars that you can look at that can actually educate you about how to lead and live a healthier life. Also, we have a list of all the services that we provide that can help your body function better, get you out of crisis if needed, optimize it if needed, and maintain it, which is essential. So, here's the good news, which gets me excited. I just turned 60. But I found out 40 is the new 20, 60 is the new 40, 80 is the new 60, and 100 is the new, well, maybe start over at 20 again. So one thing we want to do is get excited about your life. And if you're excited about your life, take care of it and live your best life now. And most importantly, take action. Remember Max? Max didn't know he was going to live this long, and he had to suffer. We have now, over the last 7 years, been introducing the 100-year lifestyle to patients, and the ones that understand this have taken action in their life. They've taken responsibility, and it's so rewarding when patients come to us and basically show up for a tune-up, show up for some type of proactive health care to prevent problems. And when we look at them, you can see the changes. You can see the look on their face. You can see the energy. You can see the brightness of their smiles, the glistening in their eyes. They look at their weight. It's down. They tell you about their activities, about how it's improved their relationship, how basically it's affected their job, how it affected their outlook on life, and not only that, their quality of life and quantity of life. We are so excited, especially about the practice members that came in, and they were at some points desperate. We may have been their last hope, but we got to the root of the problem. We were able to support them with an environment here in the office that was loving and caring, and they felt cared for. These people had a glimmer of hope, started getting some results, and it created momentum that they started doing things for themselves, especially when we taught them about self-care. They started eating right. They started exercising. They started stretching. And guess what? They said, basically looking back, it was pretty easy. Starting it wasn't easy. It was hard. Okay? But guess what? The discipline that they put in was a lot less painful than the regret they would have had if they didn't take care of themselves. So one of the things that we want to share with everybody is that you have an opportunity each and every day to live a healthier life. We're here to help you do that. That's what we get excited about. Taking care of people, solving their problems, or identifying the causes of the problems and helping them solve their own problems, working together as a team and providing proper care, including primarily optimizing their nervous system through chiropractic care to remove nerve interference. So we invite you in. So when it comes to making your 100-year lifestyle choices for yourself, with your family and friends, where do you want to be? Do you want to be on the left and not optimizing your health? Do you be on the right, 100 years old and barefoot water skiing? Where would you rather be? Well, you may not want to be barefoot water skiing, but you get the point. That guy's living, the other one person's just surviving. So we have a special offer we want to offer to people, and we always offer this. If you want to make health a priority, either in crisis or for lifestyle care, we offer free complimentary consultations where you can come in and talk about what you're concerned about, what you want to achieve, and we can then determine whether or not we can help you. One of the things we can do is we can do a evaluation. It's called the symptom survey, where you basically fill out an information sheet about things that you may be experiencing, and it goes through a computer program that coordinates all the body systems where there may be overlap, and so we can see patterns whether or not you're out of where you're out of balance, and we can make recommendations how to get you back in balance. We also want to look at your posture, so we offer a free foot scan where we basically map the bottom of your feet and see how you're standing, so we can look at your posture, see if you're out of balance. It's all about balance and bringing people into balance and removing nerve interference. When you do that and support it with good nutrition and exercise, guess what? Health abounds, and we're more than happy to do that to you. So if you're interested in having these evaluations, call 626-798-7805, which is our office number, and we'd be more than happy to help you learn about where you're at in your life and how to optimize and live a 100-year lifestyle. 100-year lifestyle. This is Dr. Buckley for the Health Advantage Physical Medicine.